So Owen, Pokey and Timmy are pulling these out of your bag, your hefty bag of bad grades here. What do you got for Sean Monahan?
I'll give him a C minus. I give him some credit. He played 78 games. Like that's. That's a guy who draws a lot of tough assignments that I don't think he always gets credit for. But yeah, that's another guy closer to 30 points that you want to see closer to 50 or 60. It was a regression. There's just no other word for it.
Disrespected media.
Kevin Bank is fluent in Slovak. Fun fact.
Welcome to Cannonballs, says the voice from off camera. This is yet another, backed by popular demand, special edition of Cannonballs Reign of Terror 3. Joining me, are three of my lads, and fine lads they are. That's Matthew Arace, Timothy Arace, and Owen Arace, who were, to explain the meaning of the subtitle, known when they were younger as the Reign of Terror for reasons I won't get into right now. Today on Cannonballs, we're going to do some player grades, which I don't like to do, and they revel in. So let's get right to it, boys. Say hello to our audience.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hello.
There they are.
I'm giving Emil Bemstrom an A+.
How about Shanikov?
Wrong year.
Yeah, sure. Okay, grades. We'll begin with the forwards, and we're going to be working sort of in reverse order of a sort. So we're going to start with Zach Aston Reese, Czar. And we're going to start with, I guess we'll start on the left with Matthew, is the way I'm seeing it on my screen. Pokey, what do you got for Zach Aston Reese? A to D. Or you can F if you want.
I'd go with like a, I don't know, C minus, D plus. It's hard to grade him because are we grading on like a set scale, or are we grading on our expectations for him?
Yeah, I think relative to
based on our expectations, I mean, C, B, didn't really play a lot. Especially in the latter half of the year. I'd go with a C plus. I like that to finish it.
Yeah, I'll give him a C. I mean, he had, let me find his counting stats. Yeah, he had 5 points in 27 games. He was out of the lineup for he was out of the lineup for basically 3 months down the stretch when they were trying to win. I don't know. He is what he is, like a fourth line grinder who's like pretty decent defensively. It doesn't give you much offense.
A good guy in the room, I want to say. Though.
Yeah. I give Zach Aston Reese a C for a fairly mediocre body of work.
Okay, and now we go to Owen, and I know he's brought a hefty garbage bag full of season D. So, Zach Aston Reese, we'll start with him.
Rough season. Probably won't be re-signed.
UFA. Okay. Everyone's favorite player, Brendan Gaunce, the G-Wagon, as he's known in our household. And when he was playing with, who was it?
Carson Meyer,
yeah.
C-class.
He was C-class, G-Wagon and C-class. So G-Wagon, Brendan Gaunce. Matthew.
I'll go C plus again, just for the name alone.
Timothy.
Yeah, I'll go. He had 1 more point than Aston Reese in 2 fewer games played, so I'll give him a C plus. But yeah, he's an AHL player, basically.
Trash man.
We'll go G plus for the G wagon.
Josh Stone is playing playoff minutes. You get him back. You get Carson Meyer back wherever he is. Probably
Is he in the lineup for the Sabres?
Yeah, he was game 1. I don't know about game 2.
That's awesome.
Coaches love him.
You get a Gaunce Dunn Meyer 4th line.
Okay, gentlemen, in the first half year, what will be 6 more years of the latest acquisition, deadline acquired Connor Garland. Matthew.
I'd give him like a B, on the verge of a B plus. I think he had a great start, kind of disappeared like a lot of the other offensive talents on the Jackets down the stretch, but I think overall a great acquisition, so I'll give him a B.
Very impressive. I'm just writing down the grades here, and was it G minus or G plus, Owen, for Brendan Gaunce?
G plus.
G plus, all right. What am I crazy? So, Brendan Gaunce, Timothy.
Yeah, or you mean Garland?
Oh, that's right.
You-
Where is it? Gaunce?
It's tough to
Connor-
get Brendan Gaunce off your
Yeah,
mind.
I
I
know.
know.
I need a shower.
Yeah, I'd give Garland a B minus. I mean, I think like when he first got in the lineup, I mean, he had what, like 4 goals in 2 games,
Yeah.
but like the second line was still was still not really producing with him, and like, yeah, I mean, he's a useful player, I think, but he's kind of limited offensively, I think, in terms of production, and he didn't kind of pop as much as I was really hoping, but I don't think it wasn't for a lack of effort necessarily, so I'll give him a B minus.
He tries hard. You gotta
Yeah.
love the effort, as Bill Dowd used to say.
Just the second line was so dysfunctional. Like it wasn't really on him to solve, but I don't think he really elevated it too extensively.
When Connor Garland with one N.
I'll give him a C. I think the points drying up last couple of weeks. That's one of the guys you wanted to see score, and 1 or 2 of those games at the very least where they really could have used a goal. And he was just one of those guys that did not come through at all. So it's, I think, really disappointing, especially after it looked like he got up, hit the ground running here. You really hate to see him not produce at all towards to end the season. So I'll give him a C.
I would say this, that when the cabin lost pressure at the end of the season and everything was imploding, he was one guy that you noticed when everyone else was bad. I will say that, and so I credit him for his.
Yeah, I mean he's a high motor player, and like I think he's good defensively. It's just like if he's playing second line right wing, you need offense there.
Yeah. Okay, fan favorite Danton Heinen.
Danton Heinen.
He's a fan favorite, isn't he? Owen?
Sure.
Matthew, what do you have for Danton Heinen?
I mean, I'd probably give him like a B, another B, flat B, because I think Bones really liked him higher in the lineups a lot of the time than he should be playing, but I don't think he was like god awful. My expectations were low, and I think he kind of surpassed them, I'm not gonna lie. So I'll give him a B.
That's well put. Timothy, Danton Heinen.
Yeah, Heinen's. I thought Heinen played like. I think he's a very limited player, offensively especially. But I mean, he was amazing
way to put
defensively.
it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of creativity or real, eye-catching skill. But I mean, he was really good defensively. His defensive impacts were really good. He should not have been playing on the second line. But yeah, I think relative to expectation, yeah, probably I mean, he was a throw-in the Chinnikov trade that I kind of forgot they even acquired at points. So yeah, I guess I'll give him a B minus.
B minus. Not bad. Owen, you got your bag of season D's there. C plus. C plus.
Bottom 6 guy
Yeah.
plays in bottom 6.
Yeah, I mean, okay, to give Heinen a tiny bit of credit, he was a 92nd percentile even strength defensive player this year.
Wow.
But yeah, that was in 4th line minutes. So.
Owen's he's tough over there. So we did Zach Aston Reese, left winger, center Brendan Gaunce, right winger Connor Garland, left winger Danton Heinen, and now we get to the second center on the list, Isaac Lundestrom, and I would grade him personally very highly just because Horty set the over and under on goals he would score at 3.5 early in the season, and Hedge took the under. And I jumped into it too. I mean, it was really bet between them. But so anyway, he got the 4 goals, and if you bet the over with him, Hedger owes you lunch. So we're thinking of, I don't know, Jack Ruby's or something like Jeff Ruby's or
Something like
Lindy's.
that.
Yeah. So Matthew Arace, Isaac Lundestrom.
Very limited offensive player. Again, played higher in the lineup than he should have a lot of times. I think I saw him on the first line quite a few times, but honestly, he's one of those guys where he makes a quiet impact that you kind of do notice sometimes. I'd never say he was like glaringly bad. I don't know. Give him another B for me. I'm throwing out a lot of Bs.
Well, Both coaches loved him, it was apparent. Timothy Arace. Isaac Lundestrom.
Yeah, Lundestrom might be the lowest event player I think I've ever seen play for the Jackets. Like, truly nothing happened when he was out there, both offensively and defensively. Which, like, I mean, if as like a fourth line center, that's not terrible. I mean, he was kind of getting crushed in his minutes. He was a lot better under bonus. But yeah, he should not be anywhere near the top 9. So yeah, on the whole, I would probably give him a C+. Given he scored what, 5? Was it 5 goals? Yeah, let me check how many.
Goals.
4 goals.
4. He got to 4, but he did win dinner.
He had
That's
4
what's
goals in 68 games. So that kind of speaks for itself.
He scored quite a bit in practice.
Yeah, he's great when the net is empty, I'm sure.
Owen. Isaac
Give him a
Lundestrom.
B.
Oh,
I like Lundestrom. I'm a big fan of the reincarnation of Riley Nash that he is.
Yeah,
I like that out of my fourth line center.
the Riley Nash Yakabilia tradition of 0.
Nothing happening for either team when the fourth line is out. That's a good fourth line. So.
Yeah, it's a shame Torts never got his hands on Lundestrom because we would have seen
He would have loved them. Yeah.
He's a heavy player with a heavy stick, as Rich used to say. Okay.
He's a tenacious
Isaac Lundestrom
Swede.
getting some love from the Reign of Terror. You know?
Sure.
You guys are going to hate on someone like Zach Werenski or something,
No.
but you're loving some Lundestrom right now, man. So next up on the list is a left winger, Miles Wood. Perpetually painful expression on his face. Matthew Arace.
I mean,
Go ahead,
sorry, I think a warranted painful because he was injured like 3-4 times this year.
Well, he seems to get hit in the face all the time.
He plays like it too.
Folks, what do you for Miles Wood?
I think Miles Wood in the month of October and November was a fine player. I remember his goal, that crazy setup goal. It was like when Quinn Hughes would throw the puck off the back wall to Elias Pettersson streaking in. So you had one of that. I think it was Severson and Wood
I remember
connecting
it was
on a
that
player.
big
Coyle
snippet.
and Wood.
I remember exactly. That's like the one memorable goal. That's the one goal he scores. Is that
Yeah.
like punt return gimmick play where he can fly through the neutral zone and someone can hit him with a flip pass.
He kind of reminds me of Eric Robinson a little bit.
Yeah.
Like
Stylistically, I think Eric
Like
Robinson's
fast,
like
but
10
that's
times
it.
the player.
But
great legs, but Venus to Milo, no hands.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
I'll give him a C minus because he got hurt a lot, but not his fault. I think he was just someone who, is a one-trick pony and didn't really do anything. So give him a C minus for me.
Timothy.
I give Wood a D. I really don't like Miles Wood's game at all. He might be the dumbest player I've ever seen. Just he has no sense of what's going on, where the puck is. He can only skate fast in one direction. He doesn't even have a good shot. Like he can't score with his speed. He just he's good at skating in one direction, and he's signed for the next 4 years at a $2.5 million cap hit. And he doesn't even kill penalties well. And he takes way
He
more.
takes stupid penalties.
Yeah, he's just such a. I really don't like Miles Wood at all. I'll be honest. I give him a D.
Ooh. Owen.
Give him a C. I probably have him at a C, but the contract I think brings him down to a C minus.
Fair enough. Now we get
8
to
goals.
yeah.
He's fast.
We get to
That's about it.
sometimes you
Takes a
can't
lot of
stop.
penalties.
Yeah, sometimes
No.
you can't stop.
It's like, how are you that fast and you can't draw penalties? And you take way more. Like, what is the point?
The entire whole team can't draw penalties.
Yeah, but like if you're like, I don't know. I've never liked Miles Wood. I was really not happy when they got him in that Coyle trade. They're stuck with him.
I think to get Coyle, they had to take him. And it was for cap reasons for Colorado
Yeah,
to make
yeah.
the deal work. Okay. One of the more intriguing players that we're going to talk about today, and that is Kent Johnson, center. He's listed as a center. Obviously, he's a winger.
Fewer
76
goals than
games.
Miles Wood.
Yes, he had one fewer goal than Miles. 76 games, 7 goals, 15 assists,
Ouch.
22 points, -8.
Yep.
It was a nosedive of the season. And the word out there was that he had a different trainer last summer. And he came in lighter. And if you recall the exit interview with Rick Bowness and Don Waddell, this was one of the things he said twice, maybe three times, was, after Waddell said he's a young player, he's one of the keys to our future, Bowness said, I want to see him with another 10 to 12 pounds like he had last year. I want to see that player that's 10 to 12 pounds heavier. So anyway, Kent Johnson, Matthew Arace, grade.
It's probably going to be the hardest grade of the day. I'll give him I'm sorry, but I got to give him like a D to D minus. I know
It hurts.
a lot of this can be pinned on lineup decisions, yada yada, but his game was just not there. It was towards the end of the year, I will say he played a lot better, and he was terribly snake bitten. But the expectations you have for Kent Johnson, you want him to be, top 3 leading scorer on the team, top 5 at least. He's nowhere near that. I'll give him a D.
Timothy Arace, Kent Johnson. KJ.
Yeah, I'll be slightly kinder. I'll give him a C minus. I think he was certainly at the start of the year, he did not really have it at all. And he's the type of player where he's not a super kind of volume player. He kind of thrives off efficiency, especially in the offensive zone, where he's he's making cross seam passes and kind of manipulating defenses with the puck on a stick. And when he just, it was just not happening for him at all at the start of the year. I thought especially post Olympics, he was a lot more involved. I thought he was playing pretty well down the stretch. I could see the effort there. I don't think he's soft or gave up or these things. He's physically limited, obviously, because he's undersized and not super fast. But yeah, I still kind of see it with him, and I think he was kind of jerked around the lineup, especially when he was, I thought, kind of finding his rhythm a little bit more. So I'll give him a slight pass for that. But yeah, it's tough not to be super pessimistic about his season. But I still believe in the player to an extent. So I'll give him a C minus on average.
Owen Arace.
I'm a big Kent Johnson fan. Just really, really disappointing season. I gave him a C minus. One thing I would love to see this year is zone entry numbers, controlled possession entries or whatever. This past season compared to last season.
Yeah, let me pull that.
I wouldn't be
find his
surprised
microstats.
if there's a big dip there, because I feel like that was a strength of his game that kind of got away from him this year.
He was
To go
still.
along with.
He's 95th percentile in zone entries and 75th zone entries with possession, so it's still there. It's just
So that part of his game. Was
yeah,
still there.
but chance assists 35%, primary assists
Scoring
24%,
numbers,
chances
but
50%, shots 34%, in zone shots 10%. Yeah, a lot of the stuff he was doing in the offensive zone wasn't there as readily as it was last year, and he had a really tough season because of it.
Okay, Owen, what do you got?
That's an understatement. Yeah, I think. Like Matthew said, you want him to be top 3 scorer. You'd be hoping at this point. He's 22.
23.
You'd be hoping he'd be 23. You'd be hoping he'd be touching 60, 70 points. 22 is a massive. That's way off where you want him to be in his career right now. So yeah, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they potentially move him. I hope they don't. I hope they stick with him, because I do think there's a really good player there. But yeah, just really disappointing season.
And the grade?
Oh, I gave him a C minus.
Okay, C minus. All right, moving along here, Matthew. Matthew Olivier, for whom you're named after.
I'd give him probably an A minus, B plus, that range. He's probably their best forechecker. When he was healthy. Obviously the grit he brings has gone a long way for this team. You look back to the Larson Vincent era and how they're kind of getting shoved around, and they've definitely changed that through Olivier. And he still kind of has a scoring touch. He can still find the back of the net. For those reasons, I'll give him an A minus. I think he performed well above my expectations. I thought he was going to regress, but think he had a good season.
61 games, 15 goals, 11 assists, 26 points for Matthew Olivier, plus 13, and yet again another season with more than 200 hits. Timothy.
Yeah, I'd give Olivier probably a B. Yeah, I'd give him a B plus. I think. I mean, he's not. I think like he was part of the third line that was like on the balance of the season, arguably their best line. I mean, he's incredibly strong along the wall. He's had a really good defensive impacts, and he kind of maintained his scoring touch a little bit, which is encouraging because I thought his like 20 goal season last year was a total fluke, but I guess it's looking less like a fluke. I mean, not a perfect player by any means, and like I wouldn't count on him to like anchor his own line. I mean, I think I'm a fan of Olivier, especially. I mean, he's a guy who can score 20 goals and will kill people, which is like a fun combo in the bottom six. Yeah, I think he had a decent season.
Under contract for 4 more years with a modified no trade Matthew Olivier. Owen Arace.
Gave him a B. I thought he had a solid season. Only 61 games played, so he missed some time. But I mean, especially really critical games down the stretch, I feel like they really missed him.
They did.
I think he is. Anytime anyone talks about intangibles or like bringing in like that element, I just think he is the embodiment of that. I think they play so much more composed when he's in the lineup and when he's playing his factor in games. And he scores 15 goals. He's the best heavyweight in the league. He had a solid season. I think he's just a really important player. And they're lucky to have him for another good while. So,
folks, if you go to thedisrespected.com, you can see on the bottom of my latest, actually it was Monday's post, I did write a goodly amount about why Matthew Olivier is so important to the Blue Jackets. So check that out at thedisrespected.com. Subscribe if you would. It'll help. It's a low paywall. Take a small jump. I'm cheap. Okay, moving on now. Mason, 68 games, 19 goals, 25 assists, 44 points, plus 16. Obviously, those numbers are split. Arrived here in a trade with the Seattles.
His Blue Jackets numbers are 15 goals, 17 assists, 32 points in 39 games.
There it is. Matthew Arace, Mason Marchment.
It's another tough one for me. I think he was like one of the most divisive like players where when he was on, he's one of their most important players. Sneaky good playmaker. He's obviously got the jam they love, and he's got a fine shot. But when he was off and they were in the cold stretch, he was like the embodiment of, how they were forcing too much. Turnovers were terrible, stupid penalties.
Yeah.
For that reason, I'll give him a B flat.
Okay, Tim. Mason Marchment.
Yeah, I think if you're going by just his Blue Jackets tenure, I mean, I kind of have to give him like an A minus. Just like he was like the perfect fit on the top line with Fantilli and Marchenko. Like he was like as like the F1 on the forecheck. He was like winning battles along the boards. I mean, he's got very like savvy playmaking touch. I mean, he's big. He's intelligent in the offensive zone. I wouldn't say he's like incredibly skilled or even that quick, but he's a smart player. He was really good, and like they needed someone to kind of fill in the void on the left wing and the top six, and I thought he did a very good job. I still don't know like at his age whether you would sign him long term or how you approach him. I think it's kind of difficult, but I mean you can't argue that he wasn't incredibly impactful. Especially after Bonus got hired.
Owen Arace, Mason Marchment.
I'll give him a B. I think it was kind of a tale of two seasons for him. Like he was such a critical figure when they were really humming, and then he did really kind of fall off. I think he was dealing with injuries. It kind of felt like he was. It will be interesting to see what happens with him. I would like to retain his services. I think he's just a really good guy to have in your forward core. I mean, he's archetypal in a lot of ways. Big, fast. He has
6'5",
good
212.
shot. Yeah, he's kind of boneheaded at times, but like I
Yeah.
kind of don't mind that.
No, some of the penalties he took were really getting on my nerves.
And yeah, the penalty. I feel like he's one of those players where you like live with the kind of dumb penalties and the dumb turnovers
Yeah.
because he can. I mean, he'll take over games sometimes.
Well, like someone else, we're going to
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
just thought solid season. I thought it was a good use of assets to pick him up. I think he was one of the like sparks that made a turnaround even possible. So yeah, good player, good season. I'd like to bring him back.
He's going to command quite a bit on the free agent market. For me, it's all contingent upon price, especially given that how you're committed to Connor Garland. But we'll see how that goes. Cap's going up, and we'll be talking about this more in the future. Okay, next up is another guy that a tale of two seasons probably. Dmitry Voronkov, 63 games, 17 goals, 15 assists, 32 points, -1. Matthew, Dmitry Voronkov, who finished the season on the injured list, injured reserve.
For me, he's around a B, like B plus range. His body of work is more limited, especially because of the injury, also the lineup shuffles that happened, especially when Bonus took over. But for half the season, at least, he was their leading scorer, fixture on the top line with Marchenko and Fantilli. And I don't know. It's hard to accept like what happened with him this season. I get the injuries, but clearly just did not mesh in Bonus's system, um, which is a shame because I think he's a great player. Um, but the games he played, especially the first half of the season, before he got put in the doghouse and got injured, I'd give him a B plus.
Okay, Timothy, 4.175 million left, one season at 4.175, and then an RFA, Dmitry Voronkov.
Yeah, I'd give Voronkov. Voronkov had a pretty bizarre season. He was also, a victim of the coaching change, I would say. But yeah, I'd give him a B. I mean, he's just such a, like, I don't think I've seen a player quite like him. Just because he's huge and in that in the offensive zone, he's like incredibly. I mean, he's super strong along the boards, and you can't move him in front of the net. But he's also, and he I can't remember a time that he carried the puck through the neutral zone at all, or a smart pass he made. He's a very limited player, but I think he's incredibly effective. I think was perfect on the top line when he played there. The problem with him is he's super slow. He doesn't really try defensively, or maybe he doesn't try as too harsh. He's challenged defensively, and he takes a ton of stupid penalties, and that really didn't jive with Bonus at all. So I kind of
Fair enough.
Yeah, but I think he's I can't really find many other guys who can get realistically 20, 25, maybe even 30 goals on the roster. So I don't really understand the decision to scratch him extensively, and I still don't, I still don't understand that. But I think when he played, I thought he was the same Voronkov of last year. I just don't think the new coach really liked him that much.
Was there a grade in there? Did I miss it?
Yeah, B.
All right, Owen, the big boss, an incredible combination of size, strength, doesn't hit people, but has unbelievable hands. Your thoughts on Dmitry Voronkov?
I gave him a C. Yeah, I think he was a victim of the coaching staff, the coaching change. I also think he's really it's like a one zone, one line player. He can only function if he's playing with Marchenko, and they're really at their best when they're kind of taking over the offensive zone together. And it's strange. Voronkov, he really isn't an effective player outside of that. So I don't really know how you fit him into the lineup if you don't want to just staple him to Marchenko and let them do their thing. So I'm not really sure what you do with him going forward, especially if, Bonus is really doesn't like what he brings. So yeah, interesting player, kind of off season. I'm not really sure how he fits in going forward.
Okay. Cole Sillinger, Matthew, 81 games, 8 goals, 25 assists, 33 points. Bitten is one way to describe it. I think the scoring will come for him. I thought he had a very good season. His numbers, even if his numbers don't really show it. Matthew, Cole Sillinger.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna first slide Voronkov down from a B plus to a B minus and give Sillinger like a. I'm between a B and a B plus. I think he's it's weird because coming out of the 2021 draft when they took him, his hallmark was his shot, and I just haven't seen him be able to put the puck in the back of the net
He's actually in
very
a
well.
Sure, I think NHL level.
So I don't know. When I think of Sillinger, I have a hard time dispelling my draft day beliefs in him. Because I thought he would be a really good offensive player. That being said, he's an extremely good defensive player now in his young career. And I think he's a great forechecker. He does a lot of, the little things that Bonus loves, right? He'll probably rave about that. But I don't know, when I try to balance my hopes and dreams for him with his performance this season, I'll settle on a B, another B.
Okay, Timothy, 22-year-old Cole Sillinger, center, left winger, has finished on the left wing this year. Restricted free agent coming up on July 1st. Your grade for Cole Sillinger?
Yeah, I'd give Sillinger a B too. I think he took a lot of strides defensively and as a play driver, I think, on the third line, along with Coyle. Yeah, I think he's just his 5-on-5 play, I think, improved a ton. Last year I was ready to completely write him off, and I was even thinking you should probably trade this guy while he still has some perceived value from his draft pedigree. But I thought he took a lot of strides. I think if he wants to be more than just a good third liner, he's got to start, tapping into that offensive potential that he flashed in his draft year and even his first year in the NHL, where I thought he was, he had some scoring pop, but he's just a pretty brutal finisher. And he's not really creating a ton of offense in zone, but I think he's become a more effective player than he was last year, so I'll give him some props for that, but I still think there's a lot of runway for him left.
Okay. Owen, Cole Sillinger, who was part of what was an extraordinary third line for a spell there with Charlie Coyle in the middle and Matthew Olivia on the other side. 22 years old. What's your grade for him?
Give him a B minus. Really toolsy, effective all-around player, guy you really like to have in your lineup. Especially a homegrown guy. I've always been a Sillinger fan. I think that's a guy you keep even through some down years, because you want to stick with some of these guys. But yeah, I think just really hoped more points would come. Kind of in the same boat as Kent Johnson. If I think, these guys, scoring 30 points as opposed to scoring 50 is kind of the difference between making the playoffs and not. So I think, good season. I really like his game, but they got to start putting up more points, some of these young guys. And I think that's kind of a theme across the board. So I hope that comes for Sillinger in the future.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons I feel not terrible about letting Coyle go is I think Sillinger could feasibly slot in at 3C next year. But I think I think the trajectory of this team would look a lot better if he started producing at least a second liner. But what is it? 8 goals in 70-something games.
Yeah,
8 goals in 81 games. Yeah, that's just not good enough from the 12th overall pick.
Okay. Next up, the not the oldest forward, but one of the oldest forwards, the highest paid forward on the team right now. That's going to change. John Monahan, 31 years old, center. Let's see, where's his numbers? 78 games, 13 goals, 23 assists, 36 points. A real dip after what was a really good season last year. Matthew, Sean Monahan.
I was gonna dip into D territory, but I mean, I kind of have to. I'm like between a D plus and a C minus. I will say, like, we know he's dealing with some injuries, right? Um, Most likely. But I think, I don't know, he just completely fell off a cliff for me. He went from their, first line center last year for a lot of the year to their fourth line center at the end of this year. Um, and that just can't. I don't know. He had a very disappointing season for me. I'm gonna go to D plus. I think he's had a lot of injuries in his career, and he's probably slowing down now. I don't imagine him to get back to where he was last year. I think he's probably at best like a third line center at this point in his career. I'll give him a D plus. It was a tough season for him.
Okay, Tim, 5.5 million per for Sean Monahan over the next 3 seasons left on his contract. And there was a given that he was playing with some kinds of injuries and gutting it out. Your grade for Sean Monahan?
Yeah, I think I'd give him a D plus. I mean, like we were talking about, the second line was just bad the entire year, and he was kind of a big part of that. I think, he slowed down a lot. It hurts he's not playing with, he's not a player who's going to do a ton of play driving or, carry the puck a lot. He's a very kind of crafty, utility player. He can make a crafty pass or, kind of pop open at, the back door, get a rebound for, a kind of greasy goal. But, yeah, he's not, especially at this stage in his career, he's not going to drive a line, especially not a top 6 line. And he just, everything across the board regressed. And, if it's injuries and age and, playing with weaker line mates, it's going to be some combination of that. But, yeah, he really took a step back, and they couldn't really afford him to take as big a step back as he did. And it was a big part of why they kind of didn't meet their expectations, I don't think.
So, Owen, Pokey and Timmy are pulling these out of your bag, your hefty bag of bad grades here. What do you got for Sean Monahan?
I'll give him a C minus. I give him some credit. He played 78 games. That's a guy who draws a lot of tough assignments that I don't think he always gets credit for. But yeah, that's another guy closer to 30 points that you want to see closer to 50 or 60. It was a regression. There's just no other word for it.
Okay, next up, the captain, Boone Jenner. Pending unrestricted free agent come July 1st. He's been underpaid his entire career here. 3.75 is what he was under per year under his last contract. Boone, not a banner season for him either. At age 32, 67 games, 12 goals, 26 assists, 38 points, plus 2. And when you talk about bad penalties, there were times down the stretch of the season when the captain was leading the way in that category. Matthew, your grade for Boone Jenner?
Yeah, he almost single-handedly lost on that Boston game in late March. I'll give the C a C minus. I think, I don't know, it's another tough one for me because, at times I'm really appreciating what he's bringing. I think especially when he's more, in the fourth line, third line role he should be in at this point in his career. I think he has some value, but I don't know, just not a great year, not really a good year either. I don't know, he's just so slow. He's really lost every single step he might have had.
He's
But
still
I don't know.
he's
I'm not.
20 years old though, or he tries to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one for me. I'm just gonna give him a C minus because I don't know. I'll leave it as I don't know.
All right, Tim, Boone Jenner, your grade.
Yeah, I'd give Jenner a C. I believe he started the year on IR with injury. I forget what the injury was, but yeah, he's been slowing down for 3 years now. I think he's kind of transitioned into being honestly not a too ineffective a bottom 6 player. I think I thought he scored at a fine clip. He had 38 points in 67 games. But yeah, he shouldn't be anywhere near the top 6. Bonus loved experimenting with him in the top 6 at times. But yeah, I thought honestly he was pretty good in on the third line, minus the just back-breaking penalties he seemed to take every game. And so, like, I understand the frustration where fans are like, oh, just let him walk and strip him of the captaincy before he walks. And I think it's a little overreacting. But yeah, I think it's, this is Boone Jenner's game at this point. He's going to be I think he can transition into being like a fine bottom six guy. It'd give you like maybe a tiny bit of scoring punch on the like a third or fourth line. But yeah, it was a pretty typical Boone Jenner season, I thought, minus the horrific penalties, like you mentioned.
There was a grade in there, right? I was at the refrigerator. Okay. On the truest bluish jacket, Masterton candidate, King Clancy candidate, a credit to the city and to the team. Served as captain through some horrid years. Not the best quote. Your grades on Boone Jenner?
I'll give him a C. 38 points for number 38. That's... Yeah, he's aging. He is past his prime, and I don't know if you bring him back.
We're going to talk about that on a future program about Roush's decisions. You got his grade in there. We got to move along here. This is starting to get this is like the OJ trial at this point.
Yeah. We're not even on the defensive end, so.
No, we're getting close to the end of the forwards. So we come up again now on another one of the older gentlemen, recently turned 34 years old, Charlie Coyle, who was a very good pickup for this team. Had to take Miles Wood as well. But Charlie Coyle, who did he fade down the stretch? 82 games, 21 goals, 39 assists, 60 points. 60 points. The team's third leading scorer, Charlie Coyle. Matthew, your grade for Charles?
We have Chuck and A. I think he's one of their best forwards. That identity line with Olivier is really good on. In that stretch where they were combining for like 8 points, that line. I think he brought a lot of leadership that the young guys probably needed. My expectations weren't terribly high for him coming into the season, and I think he really exceeded a lot of my expectations, so I'll give him an A.
Okay, Tim, Charlie Coyle, a great guy, a good New Englander, and someone who can probably make a lot of money for a 33-year-old unrestricted free agent. Tim, Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, I give Coyle an A. I mean, he was, again, I had minimal expectations for him. He didn't look amazing in his brief stint in Colorado, but I mean, he was basically great as the third line center. You couldn't really ask much more of him. He scored 60 points. He was really good, getting really tough competition. I think my one criticism of him would be on the penalty kill. He was not super effective. That whole unit was not super effective, but I thought, Coyle was part of that. But yeah, I mean, he had a great season. I don't know if you can reasonably expect this again from him, but yeah, for 1 year, he was great.
When Charlie Coyle, whose character is such that if he leaves this team and goes elsewhere, he will be missed on a lot of levels, including at veteran character a la JVR. You're great for Charlie Coyle.
I gave him an A-. Would have been an A if only he didn't fade in the last couple of weeks. I think he was, on balance, the entire season their best forward. I think people forget how really, really sterlingly excellent he was the first couple of months of the season when the team was still finding its groove. I think he had a really great season, and if they don't bring him back, it would be a big loss.
Okay, that's Charlie Coyle. And next up on the list is young Adamo Fantilli. I don't know if anyone can repeat the phrase sterlingly excellent, which is one I've never used, but very impressive. Adam Fantilli.
I won't use again.
Adam Fantilli, 82 games, 24 goals, 35 assists, 59 points. Matthew, your grade for young Adam Fantilli?
Give him a B+. I think my expectations are absolutely sky high for him, and he still needs to make that next step to superstardom that I think he can make. But what more can you ask for like a 21-year-old first line center putting up 60 points? And this is factoring he kind of regressed from last year goal scoring wise. I mean, give him a B+, A- range. We'll go with that.
21 years old. 21 years old.
Yeah, I give Fantilli a B plus as well. I think you just watch him. He's a very toolsy player. Like you just watching him skate. You're like, oh, this guy's good. I still think there are a lot of improvements he can make. I think he's still not a great player defensively. I kind of question his hockey IQ and decision making at times. I think he's a little one dimensional where he just kind of wants to skate downhill with his head down and rip it, which works a lot of the time. But yeah, I mean, he's got all the talent in the world. I think at 21, this was a fine season from him. I still think, expect a lot more of him in the coming seasons, but I think, B plus is fine.
Owen, restricted free agent pending. Boy's going to get paid. 21-year-old Adam Fantilli, who has the potential, we believe, to be the elite level player this team so desperately needs, although he's not in that echelon yet. You're great for Adam Fantilli.
I give him a B. I thought it was a pretty good season. He seems more and more assertive every game. I think 24 goals is a little low for him. I think he should be hitting 30 every season. I also don't think he'll ever be that truly elite player. But I think he'll be a really, really good player for a long time, and I think you want to lock him up, preferably as long a term as you can, as soon as you can. So.
Okay, next up is the leading scorer among forwards on the team, Kirill Marchenko, who's will this next season be entering the final season of his contract. It pays him $3.8 per. Kirill Marchenko, Matthew, 27 goals, 40 assists, 67 points, plus 7 with 61 hits. I would have thought it'd be higher, but anyway, Matthew, you're great for Kirill Marchenko.
It's a really tough one for me. I'm going to go B plus. I think the first part of the season he looked like one of the best wingers in the league. And then he completely disappeared down the stretch. But he was, again, one of their best, if not their best forward, so I'll give him a B plus.
Timothy, curious fade to the end of the season.
Yeah.
You're great for Kirill Marchenko.
I'll push back on that. I'll give Marchenko an A. I thought he was awesome. He was awesome. He's their best forward, I think, easily. Early in the year, he was incredible. I think he's a point a game, 30 to 35 goal winger, top line winger, and I think he got a little bit of undue criticism down the stretch. He wasn't scoring, but I think just watching him, I think he was just snake bitten for that. It was like the worst 6 to 7 game stretch to go snake bitten. But watching him, the effort was still there. He was still doing the Marchenko stuff. I think he was flying through the neutral zone, making awesome plays in the offensive zone, working his ass off, below the goal line and along the boards, setting up plays, but also he was ripping the puck. It just wasn't going in, and kind of everything was going in behind him. So I think he got some undue criticism down the stretch, but just from a unlucky run at the worst time. But I'm still a huge Kirill Marchenko believer. I think he's the second best player on the team, and they should sign him forever.
And we all love the player, but it appeared to me that things got a little rich for him down the stretch. You're great for Kirill Marchenko.
I agree with that, which is why I gave him a B plus. I also agree he's the best forward on the team. Electric player. I think he lost a little bit of the offensive zone marauding that I feel like really has come to define him, along with his miraculous shot. I think he lost a bit of that game as well as the shot down the stretch, which I thought was sad to see because I think they really, really needed it. So I'll give him a B plus. He's an incredible player. I think their best forward by far. And yeah, he'll be really important for many, many years to come.
Okay, that's it for the forwards. We're going to move on to the defensemen now. And I had Brendan Smith and Igor Zamula on the list, but I'm going to excise them for the sake of...
Brendan Smith C, D plus, Igor Zamula C minus.
Anyone else want to weigh in before we move on?
Enjoy your
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Jake Christensen. Matthew. Jake Christensen, the 7, 8 D. Has created a nice career out of nothing, I guess you can say. They needed him this year for injuries and other reasons. Your grade for Jake Christensen?
He's a pretty easy like C minus for me. Like my expectations obviously aren't high, but I still think he's kind of doesn't really meet um a lot of defensive standards. I think he gets walked a lot. Unfortunately, for what he is though, I mean, he's a C minus.
Tim, Jake Christensen, he is 26 years old, left shot defenseman. He is cheap, $975 per for another season.
Yeah.
Your grade for Jake Christensen?
I would give Jake Christensen a D minus. I think Jake Christensen is the worst skater on the team. I think he was awful in third pair minutes. He was not smart with the puck. He gets walked off the rush. Had many terrible gaffes leading to goals. Did not provide much of anything
And
offensively.
I'll give him a D, and let's move on.
Okay. Owen's favorite defenseman, Eric Goodbranson. Matthew, your thoughts on Eric Goodbranson, who's come to the end of that famous Yarmo's famous contract signing, which well, what was it? 4 years at 4 per.
Yeah, in and out 4x4. I'll give him I don't know. I think a C plus, C range, C plus. I think he's like they love him as the veteran guy, the big shutdown guy supposedly, but I don't think he really excels in anything. So I'll give him a C. Flat C. How about that?
Flat C for Matthew for Eric Goodbranson. He's 34 years old. Tim came back from injury. Was clearly a player that Rick Bowness valued. Your grade for Eric Goodbranson?
I did not value him as much as Rick Bowness, and I will give him a D.
Okay.
He's an extremely limited player, and he did not show anything to change me in that.
Oh, and Eric Goodbranson, 36 games, 3 points, +5. Actually, it might be +4 or something. I didn't add the last game in. Eric Goodbranson, great.
I'll give him a D. Good riddance. I've never ever seen the value in him. I am not going to miss him getting posterized on the back door by the other team's fourth liners.
Yeah.
Okay, all big fans of Eric Goodbranson. Next up, another guy with an up and down season, Dante Fabro, who was much like Sean Monahan up front. Fabro had a terrific season in 24-25 and not so terrific a season 25-26, although he wasn't brutal. He's also under contract for 4 more years at 4.125. Tim, your grade for Dante Fabro?
Yeah, I'd give Fabro a C minus. It's not a great year from him. It was kind of up and down. He's kind of a weird fit roster wise because I don't think he's going to drive his own pair, but I think he was really bad in the third pair and looked a lot better next to Werenski, which shocker, but yeah, it was kind of a weird up and down year for Fabro. I thought he was better down the stretch, so I'll give him a C minus on balance.
Okay, Owen, Dante Fabro, right shot D, some value there.
Yeah, I'll give him a C minus. Like they paid him because he was good on the top pair next to Werenski, and then he didn't play there at all. So then he wasn't very good. So now, yeah, I don't know. He's kind of an awkward fit. I thought he didn't have a terrible season. I like the player. He's got, I think, a sneaky good shot. I think that's an underrated part of his game. But yeah, I don't know. He's kind of an odd fit on that third pair, and yeah.
Well, going to have to live with him for a while. It is what's odd about that. There is he was so good with Werenski last year, and that's part of the reason they re-signed him. The other reason, primarily, they re-signed him and Provorov is because they kind of ran up against it, and they needed those two defensemen, and they paid market for him, for good or for ill. So next up is hashtag first ballot Denton Matejchuk. Matthew, your grade for Denton Matejchuk. Maybe the finest defenseman in the National Hockey League.
I'd give him like an A minus. A. He's in that top 3 range. With Werenski and Provorov / Severson, I think he's probably better than the latter two. But yeah, my expectations are sky high for him. He looked really good this season. He scored what, like 15 goals or something crazy. Yeah, I'll give him an A, especially for how young he is.
Tim, Denton Matejchuk, a 21-year-old defenseman playing his first full season in the National Hockey League, and he had 13 goals, 18 assists, 31 points, plus 12-ish. You're
Yeah,
great.
yeah, I'd give Matejchuk an A as well. I thought he took a massive step this year. As a 21-year-old defenseman, scoring like 15 goals is really impressive. I mean, he was great at driving play on the second pair, and he's great playing his offside with Werenski on the first pair. Like, I think I'm a huge fan of the player, and I thought he had a great year.
Okay, Owen, Denton Matejchuk, maybe the finest skating defenseman since Bobby Orr, and that's Cale Makar and Quinn Hughes included. You're great for Denton Matejchuk.
I'll give him an A minus. I thought he had an excellent year. Really, really promising player. Should be an excellent player for them for a long time. Was part of a key cog in what I thought was a really, really effective top four. I think that was a key reason why they kind of made some of the noise they did this season was that top four specifically, and he was a big part of that. So yeah, great season for Denton Matejchuk, and it's really good to see.
Well said by all you guys, although I think you all undervalue him. Okay, next up is Ivan Provorov. Another guy like Fabro, where Waddell was kind of backed up into a corner and had to re-sign him just to have enough defensemen, and they like the player as well. So Ivan Provorov, who was taken ahead of Zach Werenski in that draft, is that correct, Tim?
Yeah, he was one pick before Werenski.
Yeah, one pick before Zach Werenski. So number 9, left shot, left side defenseman, Ivan Provorov. Tim, you're great.
Are you going Matthew first or?
No, I'm going with you first this time, I think.
Yeah, I'll give Provorov I'll give him a C plus. I mean, I'm just not a huge fan of his game. I don't think he really excels at any one thing, and I don't think he's just kind of fine. I think they're overpaying him personally, but I think he had a pretty good year. Honestly, kind of. He has kind of like the one thing I think he's pretty decent at is he can kind of pop up like in the slot back door for like finishing attempts. I thought he scored some big goals for them. So I'll give him that. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the player. I thought he was probably the fourth or fifth. Yeah, probably fourth best defenseman on the team this year. So yeah, I give him a C plus.
Okay, Matthew, 29-year-old Ivan Provorov, 8.5 per. Contract goes through 29-30. Your grade for Ivan Provorov?
It's a pretty easy like B minus for me. I think he honestly overperformed compared to my expectations, especially when they signed him to that big contract. But nothing special, but he's, an absolute guarantee to give you 20 plus a night for all 82 games. Like, he's never out. So he's a, fixture on the second pair, and that's pretty valuable.
Well said. Okay, Owen, Ivan Provorov, who often brings fans out of their couch chairs, seats, with curious decision-making, especially in the offensive zone. You're great for Ivan Provorov.
I think he's the epitome of a B. Like 82 games, 31 points. He just is a solid player pretty much every night. And at defense, I think teams pay premium for that, and that's why they're paying him that. I think he does that job. So I think he was pretty average this year. So B.
But now we come to the player that I was most curious to hear what your thoughts were on this particular player. A polarizing figure in the Arace household, often from day to day, opinions shift wildly. We'll start with Pokey. Back to the original order here. Damon Severson, your grade.
I'm going to go with the B plus on Sevo. I think he was a sneaky important piece of the whole team, especially the defense. Definitely bounced back from his entire tenure up to this season with the Jackets. And they really missed him, especially just like getting out of their own zone and like getting through the neutral zone. I think he was a really big part for the Jackets this year, and when he got injured, They really missed him, so I'll give him a B plus. Shout out Sivo.
Okay, Tim, Damon Severson, 71 games, 8 goals, 24 assists, 32 points, plus 18. Your grade for Damon Severson?
I'm giving Sivo an A. I'm Team Sivo. I'm pro Sivo. Any Sivo haters can leave now. I think he was great this year. Basically every pair he was on was above water at 5-on-5, and he was great with Werenski down the stretch. And when he got hurt, the season basically collapsed. He was incredibly, like Matthew said, he was incredibly important at moving the puck for them in like a secondary role behind the Werenski pair. So yeah, and I think he limited the boneheaded classic patented Sivo mistakes, loud Sivo mistakes. I think those were way more prevalent last year. And yeah, I'm Team Sivo. I'm giving him an A.
Oh, and Damon Severson, age 31, 4 more years remaining on a contract that pays him $6.25 per, a reclaimed right shot defenseman under Rick Bowness. Your grade?
Yeah, I gave him a B plus, and I'm thinking that might be a little harsh because he had an excellent season. Performed well above expectations. Again, was a big part of that top 4. Excellent on the top pair with Werenski when he played up there. Excellent on the second pair. He was just had a great season.
Okay, among the skaters, the god among us, Zach Werenski, 28 years old. He has 2 more years left on his present contract at 9.583334, 9.56 million per for 2 more years. Probably first priority, if you're the general manager's team, is to extend him after July 1st beyond 27-28. Tim, your grade for Zach Werenski?
A plus. Not really much else to say. I think he's one of the 10 best skaters in the league. I mean, and he's gonna win the Norris Trophy very deservedly, I think. And yeah, he was just. I think if you take him off this team, they're not close to the playoffs. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, just probably the best player I've ever seen play for the Jackets the last 2 years. So yeah, nothing much to say about Werenski. Easy A plus.
Matthew, Zach Werenski, 75 games played, 22 goals, 59 assists, 81 points, leading scorer on the team, plus 8. Seemed a little tired coming out of the Olympic tournament, but a pretty good bet to win a Norris Trophy. Your grade on Zach Werenski?
Yeah, hard not to give him an A plus. It's a shame he faded down the stretch, but he also, won the Olympics. I get it. Give him the C this year and extend him as soon as possible.
Matthew's a big fan. He has been for some time on this program and others, talking about how the C should be matriculated to the chest of number 8, Zach Werenski. Owen, Zach Werenski, the greatest player in Blue Jackets history, in my opinion. Your grade for Zach Werenski?
I mean, A plus. It's one of the best seasons put together by a Blue Jacket ever. And if he keeps this play up, they're going to fast-track him to GM and who knows, maybe beyond.
Be assistant GM under Rick Nash, I guess, for a while before he can move into the top seat. Okay, we now move on to the beer tenders. First up, Elvis Merzlikins, who proclaimed in training camp that it would be hard to believe, not his exact words, but this is what he meant, that Jet Greaves would play 50 to 60 games this year. But anyway, Elvis Merzlikins, who he's been a project for every coach he's been under. Matthew, your grade for Elvis Merzlikins?
It's pretty tough for me because the start of the year, the tandem going really worked. I don't know. He's probably a C minus. He's just at best a tandem goalie. I don't think he's a number 1. He's just I don't know. I'm giving him a C minus. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Tim, Elvis Merzlikins, 32 years old, $5.4 million per. He has 1 more year remaining on his contract before he's a UFA. Your grade for Elvis?
Yeah, I give him a C minus. I think he's just a backup, I think, at this stage in his career. An overpaid backup, but yeah, still a backup. And yeah, I mean, he had some. Yeah, there were stretches under Bonus where the tandem was working pretty well, and some under Evison too. But he's clearly the weaker goalie, and yeah, I don't trust him to start important games. Clearly, Bonus didn't either.
Owen Arace. I'll get that right sooner or later. Elvis Merzlikins, who told Rick Bonus in his exit interview that he believes he's the number one goalie, to which Rick Bonus said, fine, come back in shape and prove it. Your grade for Elvis Merzlikins?
I mean, I might be in the wrong here. I give him a B+. I thought goaltending across the board was very good this year. And Jet gets most of the credit for that, but I thought Elvis was effective in a backup role, and I feel like the shenanigans were at maybe a career low. I don't know. I thought he was quietly pretty good in the backup role, so, they're still overpaying him, but that's been the case for years. I thought he was all right this season.
Well, as one of you guys noted as we were coming on air, that the Jackets played just 2 goaltenders this year, never reached for their third one. Very interesting. We can also note that they spent this year $6.2+ million on their 2 goaltenders. Of course, 5.4 of that was Elvis, but that's only like 6.5% of the cap. That's very well managed for 2 goalies. Elvis performed well at times this year, and now we get to our final grade of the evening. That is for Jet Greaves, 25 years old, who made $812,500 in the last year of his contract, and is now a restricted free agent. Timothy, and now we'll go with Matthew. Matthew's, man, he's a good leadoff hitter. Matthew, your grade for Jet Greaves?
It's hard not to give him like an A. I think he's their most important player besides Werenski. I think he had just a fantastic season. One of the, top 15 goalie in the league for me, maybe. Even better than that. But I mean, you take away Jet, just like you take away Werenski, and this team is nowhere near the playoffs. They got to get him signed this offseason. I'll give him an A.
Tim, Jet Greaves, 55 games. Over 3,000 minutes, about a 2.61 goals against average, 126 games, and save percentage of .908 in an era when average is .900. Your grade for Jet Greaves?
Yeah, I give Jet an A. He's the only other player I'd probably consider giving an A+ besides Werenski. I mean, you said .908 save percentage, where league averages in I think the high 890s even. He's giving you a quality start, over 65% of his starts. I mean, he's at 18 goals save above expected, which is 7th in the league. He was just an absolute workhorse down the stretch. He was starting back-to-backs. I can't remember a bad game he had, especially in the new year. I thought he was awesome. And yeah, I think he's undersized, but that's the only knock you can really have against Jet, is he's undersized and sometimes he gets beat high where others goalies probably don't. But yeah, just a stellar season from him, and he should be the goalie of the future.
Owen Arace, Jet Greaves, is he a top 10 goaltender in the league? If not, or if so, what is his grade?
Yeah, I give him an A, and I was going to say in my spiel that, he was a top 10 goalie in the league this year, and he's a big reason why they got close. I think the only knock on him is that high blocker side. I think that's where he gets beat if he's going to get beat. But I think other than that, he's an exceptional goalie, and they're lucky to have him, especially considering how he's worked his way up.
Okay, that's it. I mean, there's a lot more to talk about. We'll do it on a future edition of Cannonballs: Reign of Terror.
Here.
And that's it for this edition of Cannonballs. Please subscribe, like, share, rate, view, etc. It helps me out a lot. Also, please visit thedisrespected.com to see all my work. I'm cheap. Subscribe. Help local, independent, disrespected media. For my crew here, the Reign of Terror, Matthew, Timothy, and Owen Arace, I'm Michael Arace, proprietor of Disrespected Media, LLC, and we'll talk to you again soon. Peace out, everybody.
Something Columbus is the name for passing through. Forgotten franchises, they tried to steal the crew. Flyover country left the Jackets feeling blue. Fire up Nordeck and noise, we have a place for you. We love to talk Columbus crew. Blue Jackets finally get their due. We cover pro,